In a stunning and unexpected twist, the New York Knicks preseason has taken a dramatic turn, and this time, it's not about a blockbuster trade or a front office shakeup. It's about one of the game's most respected veterans quietly stepping away from basketball. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. Veteran guard Malcolm Brogdon, known for his composure, leadership, and high basketball IQ, has announced his retirement from the NBA, bringing an end to a 9-year career that earned him both accolades and admiration throughout the league. The news, first reported by Shams Charania of ESPN, came as a shock to fans and insiders alike, especially since Brogdon had just joined the Knicks in September as one of their key off-season acquisitions. Brogdon's exit comes after appearing in 4 preseason games for New York. He averaged 4.3 points per game, shot below 30% from the field, and logged just over 13 minutes a night. Modest numbers that hinted at rust, but certainly not at the end of a career. His final appearance came in a preseason loss to the Washington Wizards, where he played a little more than 18 minutes. No one watching that night could have guessed that it would be his last time on an NBA court. A few days later, the 32-year-old guard released a heartfelt statement confirming what few expected. "Today, I officially begin my transition out of my basketball career. I have proudly given my mind, body, and spirit to this game over the last few decades," Brogdon said. "With the many sacrifices it took to get here, I have received many rewards. I am deeply grateful to have arrived at this point on my own terms, and now to be able to enjoy the next chapter of my life with my family and friends. Thank you, from the bottom of my heart, to everyone who has had a place in my journey." It's a statement that reflects the character of Malcolm Brogdon, thoughtful, measured, and humble. Those who followed his career won't be surprised. From his college days at Virginia, where he earned All-American honors, to his consistent professionalism in the NBA, Brogdon always represented the rare blend of intelligence and poise that transcended statistics. Brogdon entered the league in 2016 as a second-round pick of the Milwaukee Bucks, and immediately defied expectations. That year, he shocked the basketball world by capturing the NBA Rookie of the Year award, becoming the first second-round pick in over 5 decades to win the honor. From that point on, he was known as a player who didn't need flash to be effective, a steady, reliable presence who made his teammates better and never shied away from leadership responsibilities. Over the course of his career, Brogdon averaged 15.3 points, 4.7 assists, and 4.1 rebounds per game, suiting up for Milwaukee, Indiana, Boston, Portland, and Washington. His game was built on precision, high efficiency, smart shot selection, and an unselfish approach to playmaking. He wasn't the loudest voice in the locker room, but his words carried weight. Coaches loved his maturity, teammates trusted his judgment. In 2023, as a member of the Boston Celtics, Brogdon captured the NBA's 6th Man of the Year award, further cementing his reputation as one of the league's most dependable backcourt veterans. But the years that followed were increasingly difficult. Injuries, particularly recurring lower body issues, began to slow him down. His stints with Portland and Washington were marred by limited playing time and long stretches of recovery. Last season, he appeared in just 24 games for the Wizards. Despite those setbacks, Brogdon's arrival in New York this fall had been seen as a low-risk, high-reward move by the Knicks front office. The team's second unit ranked dead last in bench scoring last season, and adding a player of Brogdon's caliber and experience was viewed as a step toward correcting that. Under new head coach Mike Brown, the plan was to use Brogdon as a stabilizing veteran presence, a player who could organize the offense, control tempo, and mentor younger guards. Instead, his sudden retirement changes the equation completely. While Brogdon's decision is certainly a loss for New York's locker room, it also provides unexpected clarity to a team facing a crowded roster and rotation crunch. The Knicks had just days left before finalizing their opening night roster, and the backcourt was particularly competitive. Brogdon was one of several players fighting for a defined role alongside Landry Shamet, Garrison Matthews, and homegrown talents like Miles McBride, Packham Dadiot, and Tyler Kolek. According to reports, the Knicks had been exploring trade options to manage the surplus of guards. Brogdon's retirement may simplify those decisions, offering New York some breathing room before the regular season tips off. But make no mistake, this is more than just a roster move. It's the closing chapter of a career built on respect, intelligence, and quiet excellence. Brogdon leaves the game not with drama or regret, but with gratitude. In an era defined by headlines and hot takes, he exits with dignity, on his own terms. Malcolm Brogdon's departure from the NBA is a reminder that success isn't always measured by all-star selections or championships. Sometimes it's measured in consistency, leadership, and the legacy of professionalism you leave behind. As the Knicks move forward, Brogdon moves on, toward a life beyond basketball, one that, knowing him, will be just as thoughtful and impactful as his playing career. And while New York adjusts to life without the veteran guard, the league says goodbye to one of its most respected voices, a player who proved that intelligence, humility, and integrity can shine just as brightly as talent. Malcolm Brogdon retires a winner, not because of rings, but because of the way he carried himself every single night. The New York Knicks are racing against time. With the regular season opener looming, the front office is facing one of the toughest deadlines of the preseason, finalizing the roster by Saturday. After an aggressive offseason where the Knicks loaded up on veteran free agents, the franchise now finds itself in a good problem to have: too much talent and not enough room. The organization wants to compete for a championship, but the clock is ticking, and hard choices must be made. New York's main structure is already set. Jalen Brunson remains the heart of the operation, Karl-Anthony Towns provides star power in the frontcourt, and the rest of the core pieces are locked in. But beyond those familiar names lies a competitive and uncertain battle for the remaining spots, a battle that could determine how deep this team goes once the postseason lights come on. Throughout the preseason, a handful of players have emerged as legitimate contenders for the final roster spots. Malcolm Brogdon and Landry Shamet, both signed late in the offseason, have quickly proven their worth and made a strong case to stay. Brogdon, a former sixth man of the year, brings a veteran steadiness that every contender craves. He's composed, efficient, and capable of running the offense when Brunson rests, offering Mike Brown a luxury the team lacked in past seasons. Landry Shamet, meanwhile, has picked up right where he left off. After a short but impressive stint with the Knicks last season, he's once again showing that he belongs. Known for his shooting and hustle, Shamet was one of the few trusted bench players during the final days of Tom Thibodeau's tenure. Under Brown, his game has looked even more confident, the type of 3 and D presence that can swing playoff minutes. Then there's Garrison Matthews, the scrappy sharpshooter who refuses to go unnoticed. Matthews might not carry the same name recognition, but he's made his case through intensity, defense, and timely shooting. In a roster loaded with offensive options, his willingness to do the dirty work could be the edge that earns him a spot. But for all three of these veterans, there's only so much space to go around. The Knicks currently have more guaranteed contracts than allowed, and as a result, someone will have to go. According to SNY's Ian Begley, the Knicks are strongly considering keeping at least 2 of those 3 players, Brogdon, Shamet, and Matthews, even if that means cutting or trading a younger piece. If the Knicks want to keep 2 of those 3, Begley wrote, trades involving Miles McBride, Packham Dadiot, or Tyler Kolek are the most direct path. That's where things get complicated. The Knicks are no longer a rebuilding team. They're built to win now. Every roster spot carries weight, every player must serve a purpose, and the balance between developing youth and adding experience has never been more critical. Packham Dadiot, the 25th overall pick in the 2024 draft, is one of the team's most intriguing young prospects. A long, athletic wing with two-way potential, Dadiot represents the kind of modern player every organization wants to nurture. Tyler Kolek, taken with the 34th pick in that same draft, is another promising piece, a playmaking guard with elite passing instincts and high basketball IQ. But both players are raw, and the Knicks' championship ambitions may not afford them the time to develop. Then there's Miles McBride. Unlike Dadiot or Kolek, McBride has already proven himself as a capable NBA rotation player. The young guard is a tough, defensive-minded shooter who's earned respect in New York for his relentless work ethic and efficiency off the bench. If the Knicks choose to move him, his value around the league could bring a real return. Yet his own contract extension is approaching, and with New York already spending heavily on core veterans, the front office is weighing whether McBride fits into the long-term plan or serves better as a trade asset. What's clear is that every move the Knicks make now will send a message about their direction. Are they fully committing to a win-now roster built around proven veterans like Brogdon and Shamet? Or will they continue investing in young talent with an eye toward sustainable success? Mike Brown's arrival as head coach has already shifted the tone in New York. His emphasis on accountability, structure, and pace has injected new energy into a locker room eager to break through. The front office, led by Leon Rose, knows the expectations have never been higher. After years of near misses and playoff heartbreak, This version of the Knicks isn't interested in moral victories. They want banners. That's why this week's decisions matter so much. The final few roster spots might not make headlines now, but depth wins games. And in the grueling NBA season ahead, the difference between a solid regular season and a true playoff run could come down to the very players fighting for those final spots today. The Knicks have until Saturday to make their calls. Who stays? Who goes? Who earns the right to wear orange and blue on opening night? Time is running out, and in New York, where expectations never sleep, the pressure to get it right has never been greater. The New York Knicks are back in the spotlight, and this time, it's not just about their resurgence in the Eastern Conference. It's about something bigger, something that could completely alter the balance of power across the NBA. Reports are circulating that the Knicks have emerged as one of the frontrunners to land Los Angeles Lakers superstar LeBron James before the trade deadline. For a franchise that has spent decades searching for that elusive return to greatness, the timing feels perfect. The Knicks are entering the 2025-26 season with massive expectations after a historic campaign that saw them finish third in the East and reach their first Eastern Conference Finals since 2000. Though their run ended at the hands of the Indiana Pacers, it reignited a sense of belief throughout New York, a city that has been starving for a championship-caliber team. This year, the Knicks are reloaded and ready for more. The foundation is strong, built around a core that has quickly become one of the most balanced in basketball. Jalen Brunson, the relentless floor general and emotional leader; Karl-Anthony Towns, the versatile big man with all-NBA talent; Mikal Bridges, the elite two-way wing who has blossomed into a star in New York; OG Anunoby, a defensive anchor capable of guarding anyone on the floor; and Josh Hart, the heart-and-soul competitor who gives everything on both ends. And this off-season, the front office made sure to address the team's most glaring weakness: depth. New York added proven veterans Jordan Clarkson, Gershon Yabusele, Malcolm Brogdon, and Landry Shamet in free agency, transforming the second unit into a legitimate weapon. After years of relying too heavily on their starters, the Knicks now have a roster that can compete at full throttle for 48 minutes. Under new head coach Mike Brown, who replaced Tom Thibodeau, this Knicks team enters the season with renewed energy and focus. Brown brings a defensive mindset and championship experience, having guided elite teams in the past. His leadership could be the missing piece that helps New York turn potential into a legitimate title run. But as training camp opened, one storyline began to dominate headlines: LeBron James. The 40-year-old icon is entering the final year of his $101 million contract with the Lakers, and speculation about his future has intensified. Los Angeles is at a crossroads, and if the team struggles early, front office executives may be forced to consider trading their franchise legend rather than risk losing him for nothing in free agency. According to Bovada, the Knicks have the fourth best odds, plus 550, to acquire James before the deadline. The Dallas Mavericks top the list at minus 120, followed by the Cleveland Cavaliers, plus 350, a potential homecoming story, and the Golden State Warriors, plus 450. Still, the very fact that the Knicks are even in the mix is a statement in itself. For New York, the idea of adding LeBron James isn't just about basketball. It's about power, legacy, and narrative. Imagine it, the world's most famous basketball arena, Madison Square Garden, hosting the world's most famous player, wearing the iconic orange and blue. The symbolism would be undeniable. LeBron, the global superstar who once dreamed of conquering New York, finally taking center stage on Broadway. On paper, his addition would elevate the Knicks to instant title favorites. Pairing LeBron with Brunson and Towns would create a dynamic trio capable of matching up with any super team in the league. The leadership, experience, and championship pedigree he brings could be the missing ingredient in New York's quest to return to the NBA Finals. But as exciting as the scenario sounds, it remains highly unlikely, at least for now. Inside the Knicks organization, sources say there hasn't been serious internal momentum toward pursuing LeBron. Instead, the front office appears to be focused on maintaining roster continuity and positioning themselves for a potential blockbuster involving Giannis Antetokounmpo, whose future in Milwaukee remains uncertain. Team president Leon Rose and general manager Scott Perry have been patient and strategic, avoiding reactionary moves in favor of long-term vision. And that patience could be key. If the Knicks were to engage in LeBron trade talks, the Lakers would likely demand a massive return, one that could include Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, two of New York's most valuable assets. Given LeBron's age and his ability to opt out of his deal next summer, that kind of gamble might simply be too costly. Still, there's an undeniable intrigue. The Knicks haven't been this stable, this competitive, or this relevant in decades. The possibility of landing one of the greatest players of all time feels less like a fantasy and more like a conversation worth having. Even if a deal doesn't materialize, the fact that New York is part of the conversation shows just how far the franchise has come. Not long ago, the Knicks were viewed as a cautionary tale of dysfunction and missed opportunities. Now, they're a respected contender, a destination, not a desperation move. So will the Knicks go all in for LeBron James? Probably not this season. But if the Lakers falter and the trade market heats up, don't expect New York to stay silent. The front office has made one thing clear: they're ready to make bold moves when the moment is right. And whether it's LeBron, Giannis, or another superstar down the line, the message is the same: the Knicks are no longer chasing relevance. They're chasing banners. Because in the city that never sleeps, there's only one stage big enough for basketball royalty. And if history has taught us anything, it's that when the lights shine brightest, Madison Square Garden always finds its star.